Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone that might be watching this video. This is a presentation to Columbia College of Missouri on Management 341, Intro to Entrepreneurship, and this is my business concept. I repeat, this is business concept. Not everything is fully in development, just an idea. Let's get into it. Who am I? I am Cory Long. My business, CUSTOMZ. I have a huge interest in submarines as a veteran. I've been in the service for 13 years before I was medically retired, unfortunately. I got out in 2020. I have a big passion for sport bikes, especially the Ninja 400, Ninja 500, which this is what this is going to be about. I am a big advocate for hammerhead sharks, which again, that is how I came up with my design concept. My slogan, we're built under pressure. Why? Because everything that is developed is usually developed under pressure. Whether it's time management, then a task that needs to be done quickly, the efficiency of getting products out to customers, shipment, everything requires time and pressure. And that is why I built my slogan for company, built under pressure. Now I apologize for this video. I filmed in my basement because I was excited. Not only that, you might hear my labs in the back barking. I apologize for that. You could possibly hear a washer running. Hopefully not, but it's a possibility. Again, this is just something I was so excited about that I wanted to bring to you all, and I just couldn't wait. So what is this concept idea? It is about 3D printing. I'm a huge 3D printing advocate. As you can see, I got some stuff splayed out on the table, from different components to things I'm working on to fully completed 3D prints. Granted, some of these are not my own. Stay to the end of the video and I will do a shout out for the makers of those if you're interested, as I love them. They fit perfectly, they're great. Anyway, back to my concept. So 3D printing, I don't know if you can really see this, it's hard to tell, but motorcycle fairing kits. Why? Because there's such a need for Ninja 400, Ninja 500 fairing kits. You look them up, everybody's asking, how can we get them? How can we get them quality? You know, how can we make them customizable? And I thought, man, that is a fantastic idea. So let's get into it. As the owner of LC CUSTOMZ, I'd like to present to you on my business idea. So, when I think of building a business, I think, what is it made of? Why 3D print? Is there a need? And of course, the obvious, the business idea. That's the money maker that most people are interested in. What can you provide value? And that is what I want to deliver, the value to my customers. So we'll start. What is it? PLA is a polylactic acid, a thermoplastic filament. Now, it's for FDM printers, which is right here. It's a fused deposition modeling. And this version here is just a Creality Ender V2. I got it about 6 years ago, maybe probably 8 years now. It's outdated. This is only a single stage filament printing, so if you're doing one print, that's all it does. It's just one color, then you got to manually swap them out. I'm looking to upgrade to the newer 7 style. It has 7 different print filaments you can put in at one time, and it automatically does the work for you. How great is that for colored prints? You don't even have to do that work. It saves you labor. But anyway, back to this. So, we already got that 3D print. Why or how is the PLA biodegradable? It's made from plant-based material, including cornstarch, sugars, and cambasses. It heats up to melt, and then as it cools, it hardens. And once it cools, the structure is hardened and produces the quality print that you're looking for. Now, obviously, you have discrepancies. There's going to be errors. There's going to be pre and post work that needs to be done. in order to make those prints. And a lot of these prints that I have, there's some post work that needs to be done. But I wanted to provide how cool the different customizations are. Like you have this right here. It says Supra, but then it's a car. Like how cool is that? You know, you got cup holders, pens, a dinosaur helmet if you're into prehistoric creatures, Mortal Kombat, you know, get over here, you know, the iconic phrase. You got phone holders and little gadgets and stuff, even tech deck stuff that I was working on. Now all these you can get from different sites like Maker's World, Tinkercad. A lot of these you can look up. They're not my design, so I just want to put that out there. But I printed them just to show what can be done capability-wise. From little trinkets to full-size helmets of custom designs. So, we already talked about that it's biodegradable, but now what else can we do? So why print it? You know, it's cheap, low cost. I got rules that are small 250 and even 1,000. There's 500 kilogram rolls. They only weigh a couple ounces. They're cheap. They range from anywhere from 10, 15 bucks all the way to 60 bucks, depending on the quality that you're looking for or colors. Many of these are multicolored prints because it's a new idea I've been working on. And I enjoy having that options. You know, everybody wants options. So it's also customizable. You know, you can use different software slicing, like the Cura, Simplify 3D, Tinkercad. They're just, to name a few. There's like Maker Hub, Ender has one as well, and so does Creality. Everybody wants to bring to the world 3D printing designs for our imagination to bring to life. And that's what I'm about. So, why do we do this? We can test small prints. We can even create complex engineering models, which right now I don't have one because I like the simpleness. You know, I do a lot of different things, so I like to keep it simple. We can also create little models for company presentations, kind of like what I'm doing right now, as my company starting out, LC CUSTOMZ. So you can scale it, whether it's by size, as you can see here, range size, or the amount of prints that I have everywhere. You can do that too. And you can test the durability and weakness. Some of my prints, if you can see, they lost their legs because it's a weak point. But, you know, they're structurally sound, so you can tell the hardness. But, you know, you have those deficiencies to watch out for. And that's why 3D printing small stuff is great. It's fantastic. You can trigger the weak points, and it doesn't cost the company a lot of business. I mean value to the company. They don't take a profit loss because the margin's so small. You know, buy less, scale less, and then buy more, implement, and grow. You know? So, we established that. Is there a need? Yes. Engineering concepts. Engineering's huge. A lot of these components that people want to make or need require thousands, hundreds, thousands, even millions to, by the time design, software, made, testings, and then produced. Where 3D printing small items, we can do that in little batches, saves the company's time, saves them effort, saves them cost. And then we can take those designs, and if we want them plastic to metal, we do that. We send it off, and then they can make them into a much bigger metal scaled print. So, it also, you know, you can create different toys, gadgets that you can see here. Like I said, this is a phone holder. And then you have the tech deck thing here, a little robot, and movable elephant. You know, you can move the limbs. Like, how cool is that? So, that's just little things. You can fix broken parts. A lot of pieces, like the lizard I showed you, the legs are broke. You can 3D print those. For some people like Power Rangers and stuff, a lot of those pieces can be 3D printed now and fixed, which is great because some people lose their helmets and they're expensive to get your hand on. I know, I'm an avid collector. hence the green Power Rangers right here. So we already hint they're low cost, scalable, and customized. They're also biodegradable, which is great for the environment because everybody wants to protect the world. You know, it's just that enough. We care about the world, and so do I. So, my business idea. Ninja 400, 500 fairing kits. They're customizable, they can be affordable, a quality fitment, locally made in the U.S. Now, what does that mean? That means they're made in the U.S. We don't have to worry about the tariffs. We don't have to worry about the export costs. We can speed up the shipping times. Crucial to customers that are like, hey, I need this fairing kit in a week or a couple days, maybe even tomorrow if the product's fast enough. If we, you can provide one printer or 7, get them printed out, and it works great. I have, which mine is these right here. Now, I know this is big. This is a small printer. But what you can do is you can break the components down, which I have here, that'll fit the printer. And then you can mold it. You can use fiberglass filler or, primer fuser, sand it. You got your clear coats for your final post-processing. You got the blue color that I prefer. I'm working on creating a motorcycle fairing kit right now, which is why I have, this is an example to use. This is my base starter. And then you also have your base black. Now that requires a lot of wet sanding, priming, or wet sanding, priming, wet sanding again, base paint, clear coat, finishing. Then it gets packed up and out to the customer. Now, I like this because I'm able to customize stuff. I have a passion for it. So if people need different parts, they can come to me for their bike and I can print that for them. Now, why choose LC Customs? Well, the parts are printed at low cost. Then we can change the thickness or the density of the material as needed for if you're doing track racing, stunting, or just street bike riding. I'm an avid street rider with an interest in track, so sometimes I might want my fairings to be a little bit lighter, and that's what I want to bring to the world, is that passion, that customizability to where they can change the aerodynamics, whether they want to add just a phone holder already in and it's flush with their motorcycle, or if they want to add different lights, LEDs, they can do that. There's no limit to what we can do. If they can think it, we can create it, and we can produce it. And that's what I'm here for. You can also separate different parts and fit for repair purposes. Recreate them, print them, bam, out to the customer. It's so hard to get those fairing kits. And OEM ones are upwards of $1,200 to $1,500, $2,000 for them. It's hard to do that. But producing wise, you can have a quality in-house done kit. And it could be upwards between $600 to $1,000, $1,200, depending on how we set those packages up for you. Now, like I said again, customizable. What we offer, basic prints. So basically this is done, without any paint or post-processing done. No sanding, just the plastic itself. That way the customer, if they wish, they can paint it. It's the cheapest option. We can get that printed, get it sent out to them. Bam. Complete that project with them. Post-processing, i.e. we sand it down for them, we prime it, and then send it off that way. Now, what a lot of customers prefer is already pre-done fairings. That's what I see the most. And that's why I partnered with Custom Cans to do my candy blue, candy gold, pearl blue, pearl and gold metallic flakes for my bike, which that'll be here this summer. That I gotta finish. It's a lot of work. Gotta strip them down, sand, prime. But they can be reinforced with fiberglass too, for that structural integrity. And that's the big key component, is we can 3D print the model, blow it up big, fiberglass it, make it structural sound, and get it to the customer in a quickly manner that they can just bolt onto their bike with the quality fitment and ride. Because we're all enthusiasts. We love to ride twisties, highway runs, you name it, we're there. Again, like I said, U.S. availability speeds up time for receiving, cuts costs to the customer because you're not paying tariffs or taxes on imports, exports, that situation. We can repair the fairings in a hurry. The customer can avoid copyright infringement because we're customizing those components to them. Where if you replicate OEM products, you have a good chance of getting a lawsuit or a cease and desist letter. We don't want that. Nobody wants that. It's not good for the customer. It's definitely not good for the business. So by making it customizable, we can avoid those issues. We can create the fairing kits designed for stunt, street, or track use. For the track fuel enthusiast. And again, quality fitment, because that's the big key thing. Is people export these cheap-made fairing kits, but they don't fit well. And I want to change that game. I want them to be able to just take the piece, put it on their product, print it, bolt it, ride it, done. They're happy. I'm ecstatic, So why choose us? Why choose LC Customs? Veteran owned, for one. I like environmental friendly products. I have dogs, I have cats, I have animals. I care about the environment, I care about people, and that's what I want to bring to the market. They're made locally in the U.S. Not all products are. I want to make sure that my products that I have designed are printed and made and built in the U.S. They're customizable, for different aerodynamic packages, different looks, different needs. You want it, you think about it, get to us, we'll build it. Now, customer satisfaction is huge, because without customer satisfaction, you can't create sales. Reputation is everything, and you'll destroy reputation. I don't want that. Nobody does. So customer satisfaction is one of my main priorities. Also, discount codes. Everybody loves a good discount. Well, they're going to be available to veterans, emergency response personnel, active duty military members, and first-time buyers. Because I want people to get on, click on the site, order their products, and know that what they're receiving is worth the value. And I want to give everybody that I'm passionate for as a veteran those discounts, because they're worth it. They are. They deserve everything. So, lastly but not least, I want to give shout outs. Shout out to Fast Signs. They created this banner for me in a 36-hour window. I sent them the design I wanted. They printed it. Bam. Got my banner for you. Got Hatchbox. Quality 3D printing filament. As well as multi-changing sunroof. Fantastic. Also, Taller Azo, if you're looking for green Power Ranger helmets, they're right here 3D printed. And he does great post-processing work. Love him. As far as Ghost Bike Net, he created my Smoke motorcycle 3D printed. Find him on Etsy. Great work. Just want to put a shout out. Also, for Columbia College of Missouri, for giving me the opportunity to do this presentation. Because without them, this probably wouldn't be possible, because they've helped me design my business, create it, bring it to life. And that's huge. People want that, and I love that they work with you and help you develop a business plan. So, and most of all, thanks to the veterans, active duty personnel, emergency service personnel, and to everybody who took time to watch my video. I appreciate it. Thank you, and have a great day, evening, morning, night. Thank you.